this evening, and then we'll do that, then we'll resume the rest of the agenda. Call to order the regular Eldridge City Council meeting for the city of Eldridge on Monday, May 6, 2024. At 7:04 PM. Roll call.
Blackwell,
Present.
Campbell,
Present.
Mullins,
Present.
Yossi,
Present. Mr. Dr. asked to be absent this evening. All right, pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Shar, Gardner, and Corporal Costin. You can come up here, please. And all three of you want to face the audience. You go.
We're gonna do this all at the same time. Then when I point to each individual one, you can say your name, and then we'll read the oath all at the same time. Hi. Your name?
Jacob Shar.
Jacob Cochran. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa against all enemies,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa.
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion,
And I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation.
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
on which I am about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Well, pretty man.
Easy smile.
These two right here are gonna be our two newest officers. They are previous certified officers of the state of Iowa, so we're very lucky to have them. Officer Mailing, he comes from the Iowa City Police Department. Officer Leon over here comes from the Jasper County Sheriff's Office, so we're extremely lucky to have them. They're gonna be great additions to our department. They fit in great, just like everyone else, so we're extremely blessed to have them, and they're gonna be hopefully on solo patrol here by mid-June, if not then May. So that's a good thing. And then we have Officer Costas here, who is now Corporal Costas. He's going to be an addition to our command staff, which we're really looking forward to. He brings a lot of experience and knowledge that is going to be great for the newer officers on the department. So just want to congratulate all these guys. And if there's a member of the, if there's a significant other or family member that wants to come up and put the badges on, that would be a great time to do so.
Bail, this is for you. That's your mind. Leon, this is for you. Thank You're welcome. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations, guys. Look forward to working with you. Thank you. Yeah, you got it. Thank you.
All right, family.
All right. We'll resume the regular agenda here. Number 3, looking for motion to approve the agenda. We're here a second.
Second.
Motion by Blackwell, second by Collins to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Number 4, presentation from Brian Schmidt, Vice State. Go ahead and state your name there.
Brian Schmidt. Good evening. I'm going to pass out some business cards and some member services brochures.
Okay.
I won't take up too much of your time, but I want to say thank you for having me and just wanted to share some of the services that my state regional commission provides our members, of which Eldridge is one. And Nevada had asked me a couple of items to talk about briefly. And one would be some economic incentives to promote business in the city. And I asked, that's not really my area, but my coworker provided me a couple of items to talk about. One would be local incentives that already exist, so like TIP and that kind of thing, and expanding utilities, and that could potentially help bring businesses to Eldridge and would be less complicated than some of the other items he provided. So just to get those out of the way, some of the more basic items for economic development are the easiest, less administrative costs, that kind of thing. But some of the other things, by state helps administer a revolving loan fund. So he gave the example of Lewis Machine and Tool as an example that utilized some of the funds from the revolving loan fund. And that program is last money in and typically only used for machines and that kind of stuff, infrastructure, not so much employment because they're federal funds. And once you open it to employment, the administrative costs go way through the roof. So in terms of administrative simplification, it's sort of machines and infrastructure, that kind of thing, to help get businesses off the ground. Some other state incentives. I realize it's not really local focused, but there are lots of great incentives through the state of Iowa. Grayfield brownfield tax credits, for instance, and yes, some specifics, but another one would be CDBG, so the Community Development Block Grant Fund for downtown revitalization. So if you choose to redevelop specifically and revitalize downtown a little bit, there's some significant matching costs associated with it. But we're helping administer a project in Muscatine currently. So he and my other coworker have pretty significant experience with that. So if you're interested, lots of facade improvement programs, that kind of thing for downtown. And then some other state programs, we have nuisance properties, abandoned building remediation loans. If you want any more information about this, please feel free to reach out and get you specifics. So there are some significant kinds of programs out there that by state could help administer or get you on the way to introducing to the city yourselves. So some of the other things we're going to talk about would be, so by state does transportation planning, trails planning, especially is my area of expertise. So Nevada had mentioned that Lincoln Road has a lot of walkers, but not so much infrastructure, facilities for people to utilize. Some programs for that would be the statewide TAP program, and TAP stands for Transportation Alternatives Program. It's a federal program, so that it comes with federal hoops to jump through. But it is a significantly increased fund from the last transportation bill. So it's competitive on the state level, but you can get money if you don't apply. So that could be an option. That deadline is in fall, so there's time to start an application, start a project going with engineering and that kind of stuff. Public input is huge for federal funds, so getting public input from neighbors, from the city, and from residents in general gets the application a huge step up. And then the other thing were sidewalks in town. In this, we were looking through other state and local programs. There's not much for infill sidewalk development, but the Scott County Health Department has some guidance on that and how to fill in some of the gaps in the sidewalk in already built up areas of communities. So those are some of the items that that asked me to talk about. If there are any questions on those, I'd be glad to answer them. Some of the other things that Bi-State does, traffic counts, trail counts, we help with website administration. Some more administrative tasks. So we produce the public officials directory of every city and village in the greater Bi-State region. We can administer staff surveys, staff income surveys, that type of thing. We can do public surveys if you would like. Really, we're here to serve our members. So if there's a topic that comes up through the city, please reach out. We'd be glad to help find some solutions, do some research, anything we can do to help serve our members. So if there are any questions, I'd be glad to field them.
Bi-State is currently working with them and talking to them about looking at the traffic counts on Lincoln Road for reclassifying it so that it would fall into a category that could be applied for a grant for funding that would include a multi-use path. So that's one of the projects they're currently helping us with.
So instead of shooting for like a sidewalk on Lincoln, we're looking for like a trail.
Some sort of connectivity between the Townsend Farm Trail that's going in this year during the construction season, and what we've already got up, and then just looking at the plan as a whole so that we have something down there to connect to in town.
I think we're all in favor of it. We just gotta figure out how to pay for it.
Yep, and that's where we could get that road reclassified so that it would qualify for a grant application. Then we could apply for grant funds and adding some sort of a multi-use path or alternative transportation to the road improvement itself will make a much more competitive application.
And closer to schools, there's a Safe Routes to School component of the TAP program too, so that could help fill in some of the gaps in town.
Yeah.
Iowa Street.
Hmm?
Iowa Street.
Yep. That was one that we had mentioned too, and the health department is going to be coming and presenting soon too, and talking about that topic and how it works with these and the opportunities we might have for some sidewalks through that program.
That's great.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
At this point, Stephen, is there anybody in the public wishes to talk about anything that's not on the agenda this evening?
Yes, Mayor, just a couple of quick questions is all, and maybe perhaps if I could help. First is, can you give us the update of the rec trail from South First Street to South Fifth Street, please?
The Townsend Farms. Are you talking about the Townsend Farm Trail?
Correct.
So that is, the bid letting for that is, May 23rd, I believe. So that'll be happening this month. So the link is live on the DOT website to be able to go out and get the information for the bid.
May 23rd, you say, okay, we start probably within a couple of months after that, I'm gonna guess.
What was that?
So probably we start in a couple of months after that, I'm gonna guess. Yeah.
Yep, depending on whatever timeline the contractor that's awarded that that contract, what their timeline.
Very good,
Yes.
Lucky, thank you. The second one is, I know we've talked about it in the past here a little bit about getting microphones for the front tables up here. Because I'm telling you, it's hard to hear back here because you all speak pretty good with each other, but people out here can't really hear it very well, nor can I think the cameras, but it'd be helpful to advantage for the camera as well as the audience, to be able to hear you better. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that'd like to? Go ahead.
My name's Don Davis. I live at 108 West Pike Street. And, I want to commend the police force. They're doing a great job. I just want to, West Pike Street is turning into Cordova. I mean, I used to drive Cordova, but I don't do it on the city streets. And someday somebody's gonna get killed on our street because I don't know what's going on, but the traffic, I know the city's getting bigger, but the traffic is going up our street like you wouldn't believe. And I hate to see some little kids, 'cause we had the bus stopping out on the road to go to, Long Grove. But West Pike Street, they come around that corner, and I'm the second house on the north side. And they come around there like crazy, and somebody's gonna hit, I almost got hit just getting my mail. And, I know I'm a lot slower than I used to be, but, it shouldn't be where they come around that corner and they're on you right away. And I just would hope somebody would take a look at that and see if they can do anything at all, because it's getting dangerous. And I don't want to be, I'm an old part, but I don't want to make anybody think I'm just complaining about nothing. But some little kid's gonna get killed on our street, and I hate to see it, so that's why I wanted to stop tonight, and just mention it, so I appreciate you listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Don. Anyone else? Go ahead, Dale.
I'm Dale Grunwald. It's an old concern. Lincoln Road is too narrow and ditches. There's no way for the people to get to the bike path. We need to do something.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dale. Everybody else this evening? Okay. Number 6A, consideration to approve the council minutes from the April 15th, 2024 meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from April 15th.
Second.
Motion by Yossi, second by Campbell to approve the regular city council minutes for April 15th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays, the ayes have it. 6B, consideration to approve the special city council minute meetings from the April 22nd meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Campbell, second by Collins to approve the special city council minutes from April 22nd, 2024. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays, the ayes have it. 6C, consideration to approve the special city council minute meetings from the April 29th, 2024 meeting.
There's going to make a comment, please, on the official document you have for the record. It does not have the designation of special city council meeting in there. The agenda does, but the report is not. You could amend that so it's grammatically correct. Appreciate it.
Your motion to approve that and amend that as entitled.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Yossi, second by Collins. To approve the minutes and amend the title from City of Elbridge City Council to special city council meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay, the ayes have it. 6D, consideration to approve the bills payable.
My questions are all answered this afternoon.
Okay, Rockwell,
Looking at them, I have no.
Mr. Yossi,
Any questions?
no?
Mine were answered prior.
Do I hear a motion to approve the bills payable?
So move.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion by Blackwell, second by Collins to approve the bills payable. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Nay, the ayes have it. 6C, consideration to approve a liquor license renewal for Rudy's Tacos.
Savannah, did you get any way that Denise's name is on there?
I talked to Martha, we're reaching out to the state to see, I know we had an issue with that last year on one of them, I don't recall.
I'll just chat to the state and see why that is
Okay.
going on there. Yeah.
Okay.
We have no problems on the police side. We haven't had any issues there, so.
Did we find out if they needed a outdoor license? Or if they had never?
It's already included in their
It's-
application.
It is, okay.
Mhm.
So, okay. Right.
So do I hear a motion to approve the liquor license renewal for Rudy's and the clarification on the name on the ownership?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Yossi, second by Campbell to approve the liquor license renewal for Rudy's with clarification on the ownership. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays, the ayes have it. 6F, consideration to approve appointment of Abby Peterson to Utility Board for a term that expires on 2/28/29. We had some applicants apply, and I reached out and talked to a couple of them. And I believe Abby Peterson, she's the wife of Paul Peterson, would be a very good candidate to add the utility board. And I'm asking for the council to approve her nominee to the utility board.
Mayor, can you give just a brief synopsis of the background for us?
Sure. So one, she's the wife of Paul Peterson, owns Peterson Plumbing and Heating, so they're business oriented. And she herself is a certified nurse. And she deals with bills payable, pharmaceuticals, keeping track of all that stuff. So I think she'd be very attentive to detail.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Fair
If
motion.
there's no further discussion, the need to fulfill that, be open to the duty and what's going on right now, then I make a motion for approval.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Brunt. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion by Blackwell, second by Collins to approve Abby Peterson to utility board. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays, the ayes have it. Number 7A, consideration, discussion approving and engaging Ehlers and Cooney PC to prepare and establish amendment number 2 to the Eldridge Multi-Residential Urban Revitalization Plan. Val, can I call on you for that, please?
Sure. So this is the conversation that we, had discussed in the committee of the whole meeting tonight and have discussed a couple of times in other meetings as well, to look at potentially expanding our urban revitalization tax exemption area, and amending that plan. I did get an estimate from Nathan Overberg. He's, our representative with Ehlers Law, who would be, taking care of getting that draft together and walking us through the legal steps if we look at expanding that area. And, the range was about 1,200 to 2,500 total for, from start to finish for drafting that plan and then following through, all of the steps that would be required to establish that.
I don't have any further questions, unless the council has anything.
No, I'm more comfortable tonight with the information that was added. Excuse me. I drive by the Grove every day, so it's a aesthetically pleasing building, well kept. I think it's different than what I was imagining, so I would like to explore more and see what opportunities are out there.
And this commit just to nothing, is that correct?
Correct. This would just be drafting the plan, and there would be steps involved with the council input on what a schedule, for exemption might look like if they go ahead, if they want to go ahead and, approve that plan. And there can also be some recommendations from Nathan at Ehlers on what some possible exemption schedules might be and what the financial impact would be for those on the city for those developments.
Councilman Yossi, would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve engaging Ehlers and Cooney for the multi-residential urban revitalization plan.
Second that.
Motion by Yossi, second by Blackwell. To approve engaging Allerton County PC to prepare and establish amendment 2 to the Elders Multi-Residential Urban Revitalization Plan. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Nay, the ayes have it. 7B, consideration to
Would you work on it?
7, consideration to approve janitorial services for City Hall, Council Chambers, Police Department, and City Maintenance Shop. Beth, I'll turn this back to you.
Sure. This is another item we've talked about a couple of times. We've received several proposals from different vendors for services. And then we also looked into what it would cost the city to bring someone on as a part-time employee. And at our last discussion, the council asked that I bring forward what it would cost for the employer contribution of taxes, as well as to include insurance coverage for janitorial services. For the taxes at 7.65% of the wages, we would be looking at somewhere between $358 to about $580 per year based on the wages that were presented in the prior memo. And then I also spoke with Seth, our insurance agent with Porter, and he gave us a breakdown of $1,250 to $1,500 per year in the general and umbrella liability coverage, including janitorial services bond. And then also $1,200 per year in workers' compensation. It would be possible for an individual to opt out of that workers' compensation by a program that's available to the state. But if they did not take the option to opt out of that, we would be looking at $1,200 a year for the work comp. So breaking that down, when you compare it to the vendor service proposals, we're looking at a total cost to the employer. There's a bit of a range from about $10,000 to about $14,700, depending on cleaning supplies and the different levels of coverages and the different wages we could look at. In getting some of the input from department heads on this topic as well for the different facilities, with the cost of the two lowest vendor proposals being at about $14,400 per year. What we would be looking at in savings or potentially costing more at a higher wage to get someone to accept that job for part-time. And what we would be potentially giving up in those services for provides those services and is more efficient. The general input from the department heads was preferred to continue with the vendor that we have at least for the remainder of this year and to sign that contract. And I do agree that they do a very good job. But those are the final numbers that we came up with the cost of the city in looking at these vendor proposals as opposed to hiring on an individual part-time.
I would agree with the cost breakdown now. I think we're better to stick with Always Clean. I think it makes more sense with everything else going on that we don't make that move.
And probably 2 or 3 contracts over, put out for bid again.
Need to be done by. Places look nice, I haven't heard any complaints, so.
I think the thing that started is that they increased from, was it 800 to 1,200 a month?
Yes, there were 2 increases over the last 2 years. I can't recall what the first increase was, but I think we're going from 900 to 1,200 with this increase. And I think it was maybe 750 to 900 or somewhere around there for the first increase that we saw from them, so. Just in 2 to 3 months.
Just they have time to get their bill.
So did I hear a motion then to approve Always Clean
Finish their contract.
for the remainder of their contract?
Yes, sir.
Here a second.
Second.
Motion by Collins, second by Campbell, to approve Always Clean to continue the cleaning for 1,200 months for the remainder of their contract. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay, the ayes have it. 8A, consideration of resolution 2024-12, approving the preliminary plot of Grunwald Third Edition. Jeff, before I read this, can I call on you?
Yes, Mayor. This plat was presented, along with the application that you see in your packet. It was reviewed by city staff and city engineer prior to going to the Planning and Zoning Commission on April 18th. The city staff and city engineer recommending approval, and the Planning and Zoning Commission had one minor change to the notes, which was made in the plat that you see. And they're also recommending approval. I do a full-size version if anybody is interested in looking at anything that you can't see on your phone or on your computer when you're at home. Otherwise, I can answer any questions, and Mr. Grunwald is here this evening to help answer anything I can. If there are questions. And again, this is a preliminary plat, so we'll see a final plat, and which changes could be made to, coming up. So we're just approving concept basically at this point with the preliminary plat. Nothing's gonna be recorded.
I'm good if you're good.
I'm good. Staff's good.
We're all good.
Planning and zoning
Okay.
commission's good.
With what I could tell, at this. If you could already, it's not kind of hard looking at it there on the phone and trying to, you kind of bring things up, but it appears to meet the requirements.
Resolution 2024-12. Resolution approving the preliminary plat of Grunwald Third Edition. Whereas preliminary plat for Grunwald Grove Third Edition has been submitted by Grunwald Land Development LC, owner of the property. And whereas the preliminary plat has been found to be substantially in accord with the platting requirements of the city of Eldridge and has been approved by the Eldridge Planning and Zoning Commission on April 18, 2024. Now therefore be it resolved that the city council of the city of Eldridge hereby approves final plot for American Acres, passed and approved the 6th day of May.
All right.
That's before.
I do have a typo there.
I see
Update that to Grunwald Grove Third Edition.
So we'll amend that.
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion with the amendment to the property?
I'll make a motion to approve it as amended.
Motion by Yossi, second by Collins to approve as amended. Roll call.
Yossi,
Aye.
Collins.
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Blackwell.
Okay. Resolution 2012, Grunwald Third passed. Number 9, staff activity reports. Start with you, Nevada.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a reminder, the joint City Council Park Board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 14th at 6:30 p.m. and that will be here at the community center. I'll be working on the agenda this week. I've got a lot of items and feedback from those planning to attend. I'll send out another reminder to get anything added to that agenda. Update on the patching project. Centennial did complete all of the patching on Blackhawk Trail west of 11th Avenue. The traffic control and detour stayed up through the weekend, so those patches could cure. They were planning to remove that traffic control today. I believe that went as planned. And they are going to be again working on the patches between the 61 on-off ramp and 11th Avenue, completing those patches in phases from north to south so they can maintain that traffic access. Hoping to complete the remaining balance of that patching project by the end of next week if weather cooperates. The traffic signal off of the Highway 61 ramp was being worked on today. Many of you probably saw that. Pending no challenges that they weren't unexpected, they were planning to be done with that by the end of today. We met with Scott County Secondary Roads to update our 28E agreement for the shared use road maintenance terms. So we'll be bringing that updated agreement forward for the city council's approval and to sign off on that. Looking at having that in probably the next 2 weeks. And we will be posting the new public works position that they budgeted for this year within the next week, looking at hiring on an additional labor position for the public works division. So with that.
All right. Jeff, I'll call on you.
Thank you, Mayor. The Stormwater Advisory Committee did meet on April 18th, as well as the Planning and Zoning Commission later that evening. Those minutes are included in your packet. The Stormwater Advisory Committee reviewed the annual MS4 annual report, and that was sent off prior to the deadline of April 30th. This is our permit renewal year. That permit renews every 5 years, so we will be inspected by the DNR sometime this summer. And once that happens, the report will be returned to us, which will be passed along to you and posted for the public. And Planning and Zoning Commission minutes are in there. You guys can read those at your leisure. We've been getting a lot of grass complaints. Been a challenging year, I think a challenging spring so far. Grass has grown like crazy. I've been on the verge of sending myself an enforcement notice a couple of times. Got to cut in the nick of time. But I sent out, I think, 5 letters today, sent out a few letters last week. As we get complaints, then, our staff is dealing with them. But it's been a challenging year for Molly so far.
I see, Lancer Properties just cut theirs and it looks like a hayfield.
Yeah.
And I need to go back and read our ordinances. I know the length and so forth, but once it's cut, is there anything in there that states that it needs to be raked, it needs to be picked up, it needs to be ran over again?
There's no baling requirements.
We need to maybe put one in there.
Yeah. But
That looks almost worse than before they cut it.
yeah, there's been a couple of commercial businesses that let it get too long. I noticed a few of them actually cut it, several times to mulch it. And if you, any specific properties you notice like that, I could make a request to the property owner.
Just a polite recommendation.
Yeah.
So, if it's that tall, come back over Chris Carter. Chris cut the grass, and so it's not all bunched up and looking worse than it was before. So now, Jeff, those complaints too, is that within on First Street, within the ditches as well? Has anybody, because there's been talk about that, we update our ordinances for property owners to maintain those. There's a few stretches on there that have not been kept like they should. Any of those complaints related to that, or is that a different subject?
I didn't get any First Street ditch complaints. I haven't yet. Wetness has been an issue, so I'm sure, the bottom of those ditches could be pretty damp. If you'd like to give me a call sometime this week, I can discuss them specifically and
Just what I addressed.
run
Right.
through it and take a look and.
Yeah, there's been a few that's been neglected.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear last year or this year,
I mean,
anything's been done with them, so.
If I drove around town looking for violations, I could spend the next several days sending out violation notices, I'm sure.
That's why we need a code enforcement officer, so.
Right, which is me.
Hey, Jeff,
Along with the other things.
was Dwayne Miller still on P and Z?
He was, yes.
I think we should just recognize him. He passed away a couple of days ago and he served the city well in a variety of capacities. And just his passing, I think it needs to be noted that his service to our city.
Great guy. And I am looking into, I did email him within the last few months about his years of service. So I am looking into trying to do something to, perhaps pass on to the family or
Okay,
something.
good idea.
Just make sure.
Have any update for us?
Well, I passed out the updated budget worksheets for you to add to your binder, and also our cash is finally in balance.
Right.
We're doing good.
Sleeping right.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Martha, for all your hard work.
Andrew?
Wow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple things to update the council on. We are now full staff, which is huge. I know you guys are excited about that. As they worked their butts off the last month and a half, 2 months being short. So we have those 2 new officers that were sworn in tonight. Like I said, they're previously certified, so their FTO is gonna be definitely shorter than, say, somebody that's at the academy or coming out of the academy. So I'm hoping that they're on solo patrol by the end of the month, if not the latest mid-June, which is gonna be great for schedule and manpower. So, our other officer who's at the academy, she's doing great. We've checked in every day. She is loving it. She was very nervous at first. She didn't know what to expect, but, she's getting into a routine and is enjoying it. So, the second thing is, as most of you know, the K-9 is operational. The K-9 is out on patrol. Within the first 2 weeks, it did hit on 2 vehicles and took narcotics, out of those vehicles. So, he is doing a great job. He is taking drugs off the street, protecting the community. That's what we want to see. So I look forward to what else he can do, with more time on patrol. So, the last thing is I got a call from the FBI today, and Nevada's aware of this. I was selected as one of 50 police chiefs and sheriffs nationwide, to attend the National Command Course out in Virginia. That's in mid-July. That course has been established in 2021. It is specifically designed for small agencies, with 50 or fewer officers. Basically 86% of law enforcement agencies are 50 or fewer. Half of that 86 are 10 officers or less. So this class is huge for the small agencies. They don't have a big budget, to attend. The FBI does pick up the cost of travel, lodging, and meals. So it is no cost to the city to attend. So I'm very honored to be selected, and I look forward to representing the police department and the city during that training. So,
Congratulations.
That's excellent.
and that is all the updates I have current. And then Mr. Davis, to address your issue on speeding, we will get traffic enforcement out there tomorrow morning. Is there a time of day that it's happening most?
4:30 and 5 o'clock.
Okay, so the high traffic hour.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make sure you address that.
I appreciate it.
And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I did have a comment just for the police chief here that, I'm on with medics, so I'm out at different times of the day, and I just want to say I'm seeing your officers a lot.
Good.
I love to see that. They're coming to the EMS calls.
Good.
They're really supporting our volunteer fire department. I appreciate that. The only question I had today was the ballistic vest. How much do they cost?
Those are around $900 right now.
And how many years are they good for?
They're good for 5. And we just, all the officers just got new vests, I want to say maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. So we still have a good 3 years off. So,
All right, and then the one from Jasper that we're gonna buy the one for 400. I saw that in the bills tonight.
Yep,
How many years does that still have left on?
it still has 4.
Like, it's good.
So it's about a year and a half old.
Yeah,
So
so we're doing really
we got a
good.
good deal on that. And it was, thank you to Jasper County for letting us do that.
Right.
So, yeah, that was huge. So,
Perfect.
Yep.
Chief, I had some retired people that walked the bike path daily, let me know that they didn't think it was another new police car, but they appreciate seeing Eldridge Police on our police cars now.
Yes.
That way, if there'd ever be a problem, they can visually look around and see if there's a police nearby.
Yeah, absolutely. That Explorer, it's a 2021. It had the ghost markings on it. Now it has the bright black Eldridge, or bright black police with Eldridge and white. I've gotten good responses to that. It looks very sharp. And people know it's a police car, so.
How many left with the ghosts?
There is 2, one's a Charger, and that's the supervisor vehicle, so we'll probably leave that one like it is. The other one is one of the oldest ones, the 821. So because of how old it is, it doesn't have a lot of years left. We probably won't waste the money to change that, so.
They look really nice.
Yeah, it does. It looks neat.
Yes, too.
I want to thank you, Coach Chief. Thank you for your report.
Yeah.
That you put out there. So,
Yes, and that was my other thing I had written down here. The monthly reports, I hope you all are getting those. If not, let me know and I'll get them to you another way.
yeah,
Thank you for doing that.
detail with that and what's going on.
Yeah.
What's occurring. With that too.
Yeah, and if there's a stat you want to see, let me know and I will try to make that happen.
So thank you for everything.
Absolutely.
Are there some government students out there in the crowd tonight? All right, we're about to end our regular meeting, so if you'd like to bring your paperwork forward here.
We don't have to say.
State your, no, they don't have to sing tonight. State. Please stand up and state your name and then you bring your paperwork forward.
Trevor Johnson.
Okay?
You can all keep rattling them off.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait.
Anybody can sign.
My name is Trevor Skibby.
We won't wait, so, okay. So,
Thank you.
is your teacher gonna accept that?
Yes, you.
Probably get docked a couple points, because you don't have the original, though, right? So,
Forgot to grab mine.
yeah. Well, if anything is said,
There you go.
anything is said, have to talk to Councilman Blackman, okay? All right,
Thank you.
all right. Thanks for coming, guys.
That'll conclude our regular part of our council meeting. We'll be going in considered closed session pursuant to Iowa Code 21.51C to discuss strategy with council matters that are presently in litigation, where litigation is imminent, where disclosure would likely be prejudiced or disadvantaged, position of the government body in litigation, and Iowa Code 21.51G to avoid disclosure where specific law enforcement matters such as current or proposed investigation or inspection or audit techniques or schedule, which if disclosed would enable law violators to avoid detection. Thank you for coming this evening.
I do anticipate action afterwards.